So I've decided to do a rapid fire top 25 prediction for this coming college football week. We got 2 games on Friday featuring top 25 teams. The first game is Air Force at Boise State. Keep an eye on Boise State because I think they have a real shot to get the non-Power 5 New Year's Bowl bid this year. So I'm going to take Boise State on the blue turf over Air Force, and I'll say the scores be something like 31-17. Now this next game, I've been talking about Utah since week 1. Their defense is amazing. They like to take the ball away, and now that Washington, Oregon, and USC, I know USC was, getting talked there for a minute and then they were exposed, but since those 3 have gotten beat, Utah may be the only chance for the Pac-12 to get into the playoffs. Now, on Friday, they go to USC, and I think they can take care of business, and I think they will take care of business. The Trojans' offense, we thought, was taking a step forward against Stanford. We just didn't realize Stanford was that bad. Well, now we realize that USC was a pretender because they got beat by BYU. So I think Utah will go into the Coliseum and take care of business. Give me Utah over the Trojans, 30-23. I know that score seems close, but the game won't seem that close. But I'm going to take that score, 30-23. And then we have a couple of blowouts. We got Southern Miss going to Alabama. I give Southern Miss 0 chance to beat Alabama. And I think it's going to be a very, very convincing blowout. Give me Alabama. I'm saying they're going to hang 59. 59-6, 59-9, something like that over Southern Miss. And then LSU travels to SEC East cellar dweller Vanderbilt. Now, sometimes Vanderbilt can give people a scare, but then we saw in that game against Georgia, and that was a home game for Vanderbilt, they're just not that good this year. And LSU with Joe Burrow, he's got Heisman talks going on right now, so I expect LSU to win a very easy and comfortable game against Vanderbilt. Give me LSU. I don't think it's going to be like a high-scoring blowout, but more like a boring blowout. So I'll take LSU 31-10 over Vanderbilt. Then we have Tennessee at Florida. Right now, Tennessee is a train wreck, and Florida has the number 9 beside their name. Ignore that. Florida is not a top 10 team, and they will be exposed. But in this game, they're playing a terrible Tennessee team at home. So I'm going to take the Gators over Tennessee. Give me the Gators 30-14. Number 23, Cal, goes to Ole Miss. And Cal has surprised a lot of people this year. They're undefeated early in the season, including a win over Washington. And that made me raise my eyebrow because I had Utah winning the Pac-12 South and taking the possible playoff spot for the Pac-12. Now, then USC acted like they were going to contend, and then they fell off. We'll see about that. But as far as Cal goes, they go to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss, not that impressive. I expect them to be in the bottom of the SEC. So I'm going to say Cal on the road over Ole Miss, 31-17. And then you have Ohio State with a gimme over Miami, Ohio. Not much to talk about, although Justin Fields is a very dynamic quarterback. I look to see him to keep it going over Miami of Ohio. Give me Ohio State 56-14, something like that. And this next game, very interesting to me. Number 15, UCF at Pitt. I gave Pitt a chance to beat Penn State, and they played Penn State pretty good to the end. I think this is where Pitt pulls off the upset. And I can't believe I'm saying that. You see, I'm a West Virginia fan. I hate saying those words. It just doesn't feel right. But that's what my gut's telling me. I think Pitt will pull the upset over UCF. They know how to make a game muddy and slow it down and sometimes boring. You saw that in the Penn State game. So I think this is maybe their annual upset that they do every year. I'm going to take Pitt over UCF 35-28. Number 22 Washington goes to BYU. I don't even know what to think about BYU. They got a win over lowly Tennessee, but then they get a home win over USC that a lot of people were high on. So this will be very interesting. BYU is playing several Pac-12 teams this year. That I was wondering about that. So I don't know what to think about that. So this is their third Pac-12 opponent this year, and they get Washington at home. I'm going to pick the upset here as well. I know the score for the Utah game at the beginning of the year was a blowout, but ever since then, BYU has been building momentum, and especially at home. They're very tough at home. So I'm going to take BYU over Washington. I do think that will be a close game, just like the win over USC. So I'm going to take BYU 35-31 over Washington. SMU, TCU, number 25 TCU. TCU trying to get back to their top half of the Big 12 standings. They've been at the bottom half for several years now. They are ranked. They are playing a SMU team that is confusing at times. SMU has the potential to have an extremely potent offense, but then sometimes it don't show up. So at TCU, I will take 25 TCU over SMU, 38-13. We'll say 38-13. Number 16 Oregon goes to Stanford. Oregon, I had them beating Auburn in that first game, and Justin Herbert, he gave them a lead, and then it's like he took the pedal off the gas. I don't know. Or maybe Auburn's defense was that good. I don't know. But as far as going to Stanford goes, I don't think this will be an issue. Stanford is reeling right now. They look horrendous. I'm going to take number 16 Oregon over Stanford, 42 points to 20. 42-20 over Stanford. Old Dominion going to Charlottesville and playing number 21 Virginia. Now, the past 2 years, Old Dominion has also played Virginia Tech. We remember last year they upset Virginia Tech at home, and Virginia Tech got their revenge this year. Now Old Dominion is going to Virginia. I give a lot of credit to Old Dominion. They're scheduling some nice opponents, and not just home, it's away. They're willing to go and play these high-powered teams. Yes, they get paid for it. I know all that, but it's still impressive. That takes some courage, in my opinion. Virginia quarterback Bryce Perkins. I think he could start raising eyebrows as far as entering the Heisman race. He is a dual-threat quarterback. He has a good arm, excellent legs, and I think he will run all over Old Dominion. Virginia over Old Dominion, 45-3. Yeah, it's going to be that bad. Clemson gets a tune-up game against Charlotte, but let's be honest. The rest of the ACC is not looking like that much of a challenge. Although North Carolina, maybe, I don't know yet. Syracuse was the big disappointment this past week, 41-6. That's ridiculous. Syracuse not as good as everybody thought they were. In this game, Clemson has Charlotte. Yeah, I think Clemson will hang 60 on Charlotte. So give me Clemson 61, Charlotte 10. Possible shutout, but I'm going to give Charlotte the benefit of the doubt and give them 10 points. Then we have a Big 12 showdown. And I don't know much about Oklahoma State this year. They go to number 12, Texas. And I had LSU over Texas in that game. But I didn't see Joe Burrow being able to throw the ball that well. I thought it would be a little bit of a lower scoring game, maybe a little bit closer. So that part of the game surprised me, but the outcome didn't. But as far as this game, for the Big 12, home field matters a lot. So with Oklahoma State going to Texas, I'm going to give it to Texas. Ellinger has some work to do. He has flashes of brilliance, but in some games he falls flat. If he can stay consistent, Texas would be, a possible pick for maybe a backdoor playoff prediction. I don't know. And possibly Big 12 champion. Right now, they have Oklahoma State at home. I'm going to take Texas 35-21. Oklahoma State usually can score some points, so I'll give them 21 points. Now we have Colorado going to 24 Arizona State. I don't even know what to think about Arizona State. They go to number 18 Michigan State and beat them 10-7. So yes, that's a good road win, but 10 points is still not good. However, Colorado, they don't look that good either, and this is going to be at Arizona State. So as far as this game goes, I'm going to take the Sun Devils over Colorado, 27-20. The last Pac-12 game and the last game on this slate for me is UCLA at Washington State. Now, under Mike Leach, Washington State plays lights out at home. And for UCLA, their lights are out. So this is going to be a blowout. See a lot of yards, see a lot of passing, a lot of touchdowns for Washington State. Give me the Cougars over the Bruins, 48-7. 48-7. That's a big one. So that's all I have for my rapid fire top 25. I left out 3 games: Auburn and Texas A&M, Michigan and Wisconsin, and Notre Dame and Georgia. So keep an eye out for those videos. I'm going to be doing separate videos, more in depth, more analysis, more statistics. But for now, thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time whenever I come back with my next video.